If you're watching the video, I assume you know what a Vincent is. Optical ignition CDI system is, and why you might want to convert from a magneto to an electronic ignition system. And what I did, what I'm doing is having bought one, on a sight unseen, I'm going to show you what it is, and I'm going to show you how to install it. This is called the VPA, meaning Vincent Power Arc Ignition Adapter System. Sold by the Power Arc company and by the Vincent enthusiast who developed the housing and adapted the system to the Vincent. The Power Arc modules can be used on virtually any four-stroke engine, new, old, whatever. But of course it's focused on old motorcycles, old tractors, old whatevers, cars, antiques. Anyway, it modernizes the system, gives you advanced capabilities that you might not have had, and does a lot of trick stuff that I won't even go into. So what you get in the box is a very fine instruction booklet. Shows you pictures and diagrams and, everything you need. But what it doesn't do on its face is give you exact directions for putting the thing in your motorcycle. This unit, or this instruction booklet, has everything you need. It'll have pictures. This is a draft, but it'll have photographs and step-by-step directions, explain the system, and what you can do with it, how to use it. So the actual module over here, basically it's a custom housing for a Vincent motorcycle, twin or single. In my case it's a twin, and in my case it's a Rapide, and let's see, I'm using a wasted spark and one spark plug per cylinder. Now, they are available in a sequential spark and in two plug heads and all kinds of other configurations, but we're only going to talk about what I have. But if you have any other Vincent, they can supply you with what you need. So this is a housing that's made. Actually, this is machined up in Canada by another Vincent owner, an enthusiast. That's this part here. Get the little drive wheel, comes off. There's a roll pin in here. Take the bolts off, comes right out, and you're good. Inside the device is actually the CDL2, the part made by Power Arc, and the part that is the brains. There it is. Beautiful little thing. And the nice thing about Power Arc is they're going to be around for a while. So you don't have to worry about some guy in England retiring or dying, and you'll never find the right parts again. Okay, so that's the heart and guts of the thing. One thing that you will be interested to know is because the housing is a little bit larger than the Lucas housing, they give you a app. You have to remove one of the studs and put this and use this stainless steel Allen screw head. This is a wobbly Allen wrench, so you can fit in and move it around and twist it. Back to the cover, the screws. Oh, I didn't mention these. This little O-ring is a it fits between the fits in the housing. It's a recess, a little rim thing, and it seals the oil from the timing chest getting onto the engine. So, all cool stuff. What comes electrically, of course, is the coil. It's an NC2 coil, the 2 representing the fact that it has 2 outlets for spark plugs, one here, one here. And then these are the electrical inputs, the trigger, when to fire. 12 volt positive, 12 volt negative, and that's all you need. There are other options, by the way, but I'm not going to go into them. Read the book. These little things here fit into the spark plug boot, and they make sure that the connection is good between the coil and the spark plug wire. You'll see how to do that in the instructions. These extra boots are, if these are too long for you, cut them off. Use this. Get a good crimping tool. Crimp the hell out of them, and off you go. So, these are suppressor wire. Now, one really important thing about this is the Power Arc insists and will only work properly with a resistor spark plug and a resistor wire. These are Morosos. They're rated at 800 ohms per foot. They are a spiral wound wire, and but you can also use a solid core resistor wire at 800 or more ohms per foot. So there you have. That's what you get for your money. It's a good deal. Very comprehensive, and since I haven't installed this, I can't review it now based on how effective it is. But believe me, anything is more effective than a dead Lucas magneto. So onward to equipment you will need in addition to this particular device. So, what doesn't come with the system that you will need? Well, pretty simple things, actually. You need a positive wire, plus 12 volt, from the battery to the coil. You must have a provisions and a fuse, 10 amp. In that system, you don't want to blow the unit all to hell. So this would be out when you do the install. In when you're going to run, ta-da! Regular ground wire to the battery or to the motorcycle frame, wherever you can get a good ground. Does need a good ground. You need an on-off switch. No big deal. Anything will do. I got one that had a light on it. You can't see it because I can't see it, but it's got 3 wires. Goes on the handlebar. And I plan to put it upside down on the handlebar, so it's kind of unobtrusive. But it's like a key switch. I mean, there's somebody wants to steal your Vincent, needs to push that button and spend the day kicking it over. Finally, spark plugs. For no particular reason, I got NGKs, I guess, but for a particular reason, I got the BPR, R being resistor, B being 14 millimeter, P being extended tip, and 6 is a heat range. You might like a 7, you might like some other heat range. So they're not going to, they didn't include that for that reason. The individual preference. And of course, these wires are, nobody knows how long you're going to need them. So do your own thing. You pick what you want. And that is pretty much what you need in addition to the basic kit. Finally, among the things you will need or may not need, whatever, you will need to time the ignition, the front cylinder, not the back one the way mostly you do Vincent's, but the front center has to be at top dead center for the Power Arc module, the CD-L2, to know where it is. So you can do that any number of ways. You can dial indicator, or you can put a stick in there and push it up. I opted to use a degree wheel because I've never done one of those before. So it'll be kind of fun. So I printed this little piece of paper off and glued it to this little piece of plastic. This is just a little, basically a 5/16 more or less rod. Taper the end and it goes into the crankshaft where the quill enters. So you push this into the hole, through the hole in the timing chest where the quill goes in. Give it a little bang to situate it and seat it in the crankshaft, and you're good. This is a top dead center finder. You could use this with or without a wheel, and you get pretty close. This is a stop, piston stop, and threads into the piston hole. Both of these do, and you can locate top dead center. And then the way they do it in Know Thy Beast is you rotate it backwards you take the average of the two locations and you divide them by 2, and that's your timing. Anyway, this is a marker. Actually, it goes in the oil jet timing chest, and it sits down here. You read, you read the thing that way. Homemade, all homemade. So it doesn't have to be an expensive device to find your top dead center, but it is important. So I just want to point that out. I think that's all you need to know. We'll move on to the actual installation phase right next.